2021, 4 men got together to make a radio show that nobody asked for. This is the result.
Welcome to Broad Street Radio. I'm Michael Morris. Sitting with me, Johnny Moneybags Meanick, Bill Warren, Scott Briley. We're gonna get to.
I want to immediately interrupt and say, why does he get a little moniker in the middle and
Let me
Bill
tell
and I
you
got
what.
shit?
He tried to
When I
think
say
about
shit,
it.
Sorry.
Yeah, he did.
He thought about it for a second. He's like, Bill.
You know why?
He tried.
You know why?
He's like,
Because I was looking for his reaction. He immediately looked at Bill. As much as he hates it, for some reason, whenever I say his name,
I was really looking forward to my little
all
moniker.
right.
Thank you.
Scott, title guy, Briley.
All right.
No, it's Scott. I'm not your lawyer, Briley.
There we
There
go.
you
Now
go.
that's
No,
funnier. Why
we cover
did you
this
not
all the
think of
time.
funny thing?
He's my lawyer, whether he wants to be or not. Did you not look at documents that I gave you?
I did not.
What is the
didn't look at
definition
them?
of being
I
a
did not.
lawyer for somebody, Scott? Does there have to be an
did not.
exchange of some goods?
Yeah.
in
He
order
gave
for
me
that?
$5 this morning.
But I saw him give it back to you, so that doesn't count.
That's right.
So
Well,
he
I
did a
gave
pro
him
bono.
$5.
He did a pro bono,
Yeah.
like Andy of
I gave him
Mayberry.
his money back.
Yeah.
I give him this documentation to look over, and he goes, "Looks good." I'm like, "Can you look at the second page, maybe?"
He's like, no, because I'm not
No.
your lawyer.
You're the
That's right.
shittiest lawyer I know. Anyway,
I'm okay
you're
with that.
You're
Why is the
detracting.
title agent?
Today,
He's reformed.
Today's going to be a topic that's close to all of our hearts. But first, let's go to Jonathan Meanick. Meanick on money. Johnny, what do you got?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this for a second, and my advice is if you are a parent and you have a child who plays a sport and they're going to go to college to play that sport, you better start teaching them about money. Because of the new NCAA rule, these kids are going to need to know how to deal with it, how to manage it, and there's going to be a whole slew of unintended consequences, we'll say, due to the new rule. So please, parents, teach your kids about money. Start early. There's no reason not to. And if you need help, call a better advisor.
Just to make sure I'm clear, if my kid has no potential of playing college sports, I don't need to teach him anything about money?
Nope.
No, probably not.
No.
Okay, just want to make
Unless
sure
they
I
can
was
throw
clear.
90 miles an
Just
hour.
want to make sure I was
They'll go to
clear.
the School of Hard Knocks. They'll learn the hard way.
So why,
They'll figure
so
it
why
out.
did you teach Josh that information? Well, Josh was an athlete. You're not, sweetheart.
Josh is better than you. We put more
I
time
can't
into
wait
him.
to have that conversation.
Josh is getting paid by Monster and Aquafina, and you are not.
And if you are a parent and you are financially illiterate, please seek out financial help.
well, yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
We can recommend other advisors.
yeah. There's thousands of them, literally thousands.
Literally.
So this show, we're going to go to Bill first on this because he's going to be able to tell us a little bit more, and Scott is my lawyer. So this was an announcement a few days ago. Facebook, Twitter, and Google threatened to quit Hong Kong over proposed data laws. Bill, can you explain the data laws and why that affects far west Canada and that province over there that we can't name?
No, I'm not getting censored.
No, see, I didn't say it. I said a country that's close to it by about 3,500 miles. You can't explain censorship and what's going on over there?
No, not what's going on. I don't even understand what's going on over there. I can talk about censorship. That's,
Well,
I mean,
we'll get
it's-
into that. So I will explain what this is about.
Fair
This
enough.
is about.
I'm not sure what answer
Well, I
you're
can
looking
help
for.
with that. Well, I can help with that too. I mean, I haven't read a few things.
I've already
on
got
that.
another lawyer, man.
You got
Oh,
it?
go ahead.
No, I don't want to talk about the lawyer stuff. But it is fascinating that now all these far west Canadian countries, is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's,
I
the
just wanted to make
safest,
sure I had that.
it's the safest way we can go.
Want to not only control the money that comes in and out, which makes sense. They should be taxing the tech giants. I have no issue with any of that. However, what they're really trying to do is control and keep every bit of data that goes through those databases. Now, even if you're set up in that country, there's no reason that they should have access to that. But the argument is, if you want to have a business here, we control or have to have or be able to get copies of every single piece of information within that. Well, that was the whole issue with trying to get rid of TikTok, right? Is they're learning so much about people here that it's helping to hack into these people's accounts because they know all their personal information. From that, you can immediately probably get to most people's passwords. Not everyone uses 1, 2, 3, 4, but a lot do. And then on to, your
same code
parents'
on my
names,
luggage.
the birth dates.
I gotta even make a mental
parents'
note to
names,
change my
birthdays,
passwords.
everything. Yeah,
And
exactly.
God, 1, 2, 3, 4 is not a good
So
substitute.
it's really insane to think that much information. Think about the number of hacks here and how much, nobody's really trying to hack our little servers. They're hacking Facebook, Google, Alphabet, anybody they can. So they get hundreds of thousands of pieces of information, and then they can sell it off to somebody else to steal.
And what's really interesting is yesterday I had an instance where, so I'm the president of our local Kiwanis club.
Oh, what a big deal.
I know, right? I am. Listen, 2-year terms, man. And I
What a
don't have a
nerd.
vice president, so it might end up 4. Anyway, so our secretary calls me up and says, hey, I think your email's been hacked. And I call her back and I said, no, I think yours has. Because she got an email from Jonathan Meenick saying, hey, I need you to go buy eBay gift cards and send them to me. And then she replied, okay, but that's a weird request. Like, she actually had an engaging conversation with this person.
Yeah.
Right.
And then when she realized, like, oh, they want me to scratch off the pins and send them the pen to it too? Why would he ask me to do that? And so I checked all of my emails and nothing had went out. And then she looked at her email and it was from another email address.
That's the key. So it's not hacked. We have this happen all the time.
But I think what they've done
That's
is
spoofing, yeah.
they've found out that she's part of Kiwanis, and they thought, hey, she's the secretary. Maybe she has access to money. Maybe they could get something from her, and by pretending that it was me making that request. It literally just happened yesterday. And the other thing I find interesting about this whole concept of censorship is that every government hides behind the national security issue when it comes to censorship. Sure. We tried to do it with TikTok. That, far Western Canadian Providence is trying to do it to the other, big tech companies. They're doing it to companies that, the recent one that just went public here in the United States.
Yep.
The other version of Uber, so to speak. They're trying to censor them. They did it to Alibaba Group. Jack Ma went missing for 3 months. I mean, imagine if Steve Jobs went missing for 3 months.
He's been missing for about 11 years.
Well, I don't think he's
There
really
is that.
missing.
I
think everybody knows where
I
he's
think we
at.
know where he's at. He's
with
us all.
Tupac.
He's with us all in spirit.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just interesting to see that this is happening.
Yeah.
Very few people are talking about it.
Right. Well, I mean, to that point too. I mean, obviously Jeff Bezos stood down from Amazon so that he could go up in a space flight. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, they're like, no, we can't have you blow up in orbit or something. So yeah,
Our stock price would go down
disappear.
quite a bit. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I guess we don't want our private things leaked out there, but do you really care about the way I look at it is a breach of your privacy, but you're using these free apps. You're giving it all your information. Right. You don't have to do that. We are about 15 years too late to be complaining about what Facebook or Instagram or
100%.
what they know about us, because we freely gave that up to see what other people are eating for lunch. Yeah, except you, because I don't know what your deal is, but I don't know how you could be off all these social platforms. Even LinkedIn, I never see you post on LinkedIn. Yes, sir.
Side note, that's his moniker.
What's that?
Social media man.
Listen, this guy's a dark shadow. No one knows anything about him. Like, you got to send him an email, and then he'll send you emails from like these news sites that you can't respond back.
Scott Social Media Brightly. That's his new moniker.
I'm telling you, listen, I've never met anybody. I have never met a human being since, let's say, 2003 that doesn't have some form of social media. You have nothing.
Nothing.
So
no Facebook, no Instagram, no
LinkedIn.
Twitter,
Don't you have a LinkedIn account?
I do have a LinkedIn, but
What
he's
do you
right.
do
I don't
with
put
your
a
time?
lot of information.
No,
on
there's
it.
not a lot of information there.
Just company information, nothing about me.
But do you feel like, because you're disconnected from all that, like you have a better life? I've hung around you enough to know that it's not that much better.
Oh no, I think mine's phenomenally better without social media. I think that has destroyed our country and the fabric of civilization, to be honest. That's my opinion on social media.
Down that road, we go through an election cycle. We went through 4 years of where all this misinformation gets out. So we're bickering and fighting with friends and family or people you went to high school with. That's where I had to kind of take a break from that part. So I'm not really reading anybody else's stuff unless it's a picture of your kids or you got a new car or whatever. I'm not interacting with it. I do find that the dumbest people share the most information.
Absolutely.
But it's causing this division between all of us. That's the stance I'd like to see somebody take, not data collection and we're going to threaten you to not be here and do business here because we want information on all these customers. It's, are we protecting kids? Are we protecting people in general from these things? Are they harmful or not?
Well, I mean, doesn't it, the responsibility should fall on the participant?
Right.
Shouldn't it? I mean, it's still a free country. You can make your own choices. You're not free from consequence of those choices, but you're free to make that choice.
Oh, yeah, but if you're talking about kids, part of it comes to is an educated decision.
Yeah, well,
right?
then don't let them have it. I mean,
that's a whole other show we can have.
Before this got ridiculously prevalent, kids would do silly things like have just even a Polaroid. Does anyone remember what a Polaroid is?
oh, yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa told me about them.
Yeah, exactly. But there was a naked picture out there. Well, at least you could throw
you have
that in
it?
the fire, right?
Oh.
And then now these poor kids that have done this, especially if they did that when they were, 16, 17, 18 years old, you could be sued for that. You could prevent yourself from getting a job. You could prevent yourself from all kinds. There's so many issues that we should be teaching kids about all the data you're putting on social media. And the fact that most of these people responding to that information, they're not all good people. They may not even be who they say they are responding to you.
Well, let's take that a step further because Megan Rapinoe from the U.S. women's team, that guy is now part of the Victoria's Secret thing where it's every shape and color. Okay, that's fine. I understand where you're trying to go with it. But then they dig up old tweets of like racist things and horrible things that this person's saying. What I never understand is why did you post that in the first place? But why did you not go through and scrub it? So during the Harvey Weinstein issue, all these people were deleting tweets, directors and they were going through and deleting, like Chrissy Teigen deleted like 30,000 tweets. Who has that much time, and why didn't she work for the Clintons? Because she could have got rid of those emails.
Way more efficient.
It's never gone because I can guarantee you there's some person
There's a screenshot out there if somebody has it.
Somebody has kept this just for that reason, right? Well, they've kept it. They want that to be in their pocket because information is truly the currency of the future, right? It's not going to be the dollar. It's not going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be information. And when you have all that information, you can surely use that against people.
Or you can die in an Italian jail.
Let's bring that up, John McAfee, R.I.P.
But if I delete it off of my Twitter account, do you really think they don't have a data center where that's all backed up?
That's
the whole thing, right? I mean, that data's it's not just sitting there.
Well, how about this? How about censoring what's going on Twitter? Like, we know that's happened. So the New York Post has to sue Twitter because they put out the Hunter Biden laptop story, which we are not going to say if that's true or not, even though he said, yes, it's true.
And we saw the pictures.
Right. So we see all of that. Did I tell you I was with a guy that was running for office? I told you the story. I'm with a guy who's running for like senator or something like that the day that comes out. And I have to have that picture on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, I don't know who the guy is. I'm at this fundraiser and I just got invited to the thing and I'm like, hey, look at this crack pipe. And he's laughing and all that. And all these people are sitting there buttering his ass. And I was like, who is this dude? He's like, he's the guy the fundraiser's for. I'm like, do you want this picture? And he goes, no. I couldn't even give it to him because he was so worried somebody would know he had it. But again, if there is somebody censoring these things, like now the newest thing on Facebook is if you can get a notification if I know somebody, I'm trying to think how it is, that is like putting out extremist
content.
Yeah.
So that means that I can anonymously, which is really frightening, say Jonathan's a white supremacist.
Yeah.
Right.
All I have to do, he will never know it was me.
Yep.
He will get banned or talked to from Facebook. They will send him links.
They'll actually send me links to get help.
Yeah,
no
to
joke.
re-educate.
Like to get help.
Correct.
I can't
If
wait
you need
to
help
do that
because
too.
you're an extremist.
So how do you know that?
I've actually seen people post it. Actually, it was so I follow a lot of libertarian posts.
Okay.
Because I'm a libertarian at heart. So they actually have screenshotted all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because people have basically nominated them or whatever.
No,
Reported
speaking
hey,
of,
I really like you.
Yeah.
Here's some hate speech.
have
there's
some hate speech for you.
This was just in the news recently. There was a couple in Alaska that the FBI busted down their door, gunpoint, because they were in the crowd at the January 6th riots. And they'd never gone into the building. However, they, for whatever reason, thought that they had the laptop. So they took their phones, their computers, anything else, and a copy of the pocket constitution. So our Ohio senator said, why did you take, asked the director of the FBI, why did you take their pocket constitution? And he goes, we took everything that we were able to take via our search warrant. The search warrant says anything that relates to motive. That's why.
Oh.
So
Yeah, that's a
she
little
had it in
odd.
her hand. She was on the news and she said, I got it back. She goes, as you can see, the edge is not even cracked. There's no notes in it or anything. It's literally the one we got for free when we went to visit our senator. She goes, but they took that as motive as to why we might steal a laptop. Now they never found it. They never had it. It's just a regular, middle income couple.
If you're looking for motive for me, there'd be a bong and a bunch of Funyuns, and that's why I was storming something, right? What gave you that idea? I was high as balls, and I decided I wanted to steal
And
the
what I
Constitution.
really needed
I was gonna say, Nicolas Cage would be
somebody's
very
like-
worried.
Nicolas
right now.
Cage stole the Constitution like multiple times according to
Right.
those movies. What I don't like about, again, censorship of any form, like I don't understand it, because again, the only way to correct a piss poor behavior is to know what you don't know, right? Now, do I think you should be posting things causing riots? No, I do not. However, we spent a summer where we were promoting all these things that weren't peaceful activities. I don't care that you're doing it. If you want to go burn down the Target, I don't care. I don't go to Target. You touch this Walmart in Grove City, though, I'll whip all your asses. But that's the part that bugs me, is it's like, who is picking and choosing? And I think when
Yeah,
those people are working in government agencies saying,
And
here's
aided
what
by
the
the
policy
media.
is, if they can come get you for something you post on Facebook, or Instagram or whatever, that's garbage.
Then it's a western province of Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
So I guess we're not that far different from our northern, western.
Well,
far
we're getting to that point.
most
That's
friends.
that's the issue. You cannot censor anything. Free speech was very specific in that you cannot cause true damage. So yelling fire in a theater was the one that was brought up in the 1800s.
And that's the funniest one to do.
People literally died in theaters from fires, right? You had gas or oil lamps, and those were all the lights there. So if someone kicked one, knocked one over, whatever it was, that was a fire in the theater. So if you made a joke and said fire in the theater and someone got trampled and died, that's not free speech. Everything else, pretty fair game.
But is that different when it's electronic communication?
Not anymore.
I know what you're saying, but I'm saying in general, I'll give you a perfect example. I have been banned from Facebook twice for 30 days. And
Over really good jokes, by the way.
yeah.
They were funny. They were very funny.
I take New York Post headlines.
I didn't see it. I'm not on Facebook.
That's why these things are. So I just see a headline and I change the picture. I got banned because it was Barbara Streisand's birthday, and I put a picture of Fabio next to it, and I said she hasn't aged a day. Within 5 minutes, banned from Facebook for 30 days. Now, I need Facebook for my business and also so I can post these headlines. And then the second time...
Mainly for the headlines.
Oh, here was the second time. A friend of mine posts a picture of 1980s wrestling where he's making fun of the Honky Tonk Man, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. All I wrote is right back to him, if you talk about the Honky Tonk Man like that again, I'll kick your ass. Another 30-day ban because it was hate speech towards somebody that I know. If I wanted to be hateful, I'd say your beard's too long and you have no hair on the top of your head and you're ugly. That's hate speech. I was defending the Honky Tonk Man, and it got me a 30-day ban. That's what I'm saying. It's not, there's no rhyme or reason to what's going on, because I see very violent things like the shooting that was here in town.
Yep.
Yeah.
People going back and forth about, that's a little shooting. Somebody could have lost their life. 5 people got shot. That's allowed to stay. Me joking around with Bill or whoever
Right.
on Facebook, that could cause concern.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's all computer and algorithmic based. It's not. There's no person sitting on the other side of that saying, "Oh, this asshole is getting banned." No, and I think you've probably been flagged by Facebook. So
Oh, certainly. I'm sure 100. But see, I
the
don't even
NSA
post-
is definitely looking at your stuff.
I don't even post political things because I don't care. Like, just like Jonathan said, I'm more of a libertarian than anything else. It's like, I'm not pro-war unless it's on the side of Russia because I'm a big fan of Putin. I want to fight with him, not against him. But when I look at these things, I want people to have happy lives. I want their families to do well. All that. I'm not putting anything hate speech related. But if you're going to turn around and you're going to pay attention to me because I'm making fake headlines to entertain my friends, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not a just system.
No.
Well, does that mean they had to cancel The Onion? I mean, isn't that what that entire...
Oh, they pulled The Onion down because people were sharing it like it was a real article, and the algorithm picked it up and said, "There's." I can't remember.
Like you're pointing at me because I have done that.
Yes, but I'm saying if
like, what this said.
But if he shares it and then I do, for some reason I'm on a list where they're looking at mine, and they don't care what he did, and what he did is probably 10 times worse. Billy, you were trying to say something.
But my question is, what algorithm picked up a Barbra Streisand headline with a Fabio picture? There's got to be somebody involved. There's no way an algorithm picked that up.
Somebody probably got offended.
They were testing the facial recognition.
Yeah, very well could be.
I could have chosen the person from, what was that show in the 80s with Linda Hamilton where it was the Beauty and the Beast guy? I could have done that. Yeah. But because I didn't want to offend Barbra Streisand more than I did. But
that explains a lot about you, that you not only watched that show, but liked it.
I didn't say I watched it.
No, I think you did.
I have it on tape.
Yeah.
I think watched it.
I just want to know what is the line that you can and can't say things, because it seems very slanted one way versus the other.
Yeah.
Which again is fine because I'm not participating. I'm participating just having fun with it. I'm posting pictures of my kid or things like that. I'm not playing that political game. But it seems like it's slanted to one side so much that you were really censoring, or like I was talking to Nate about how they throttle videos on YouTube. If it has certain content, these people will be losing subscribers or losing views because they're purposely throttling it down. Well, even if that's well, we talk about Jimmy Dore all the time.
Right.
Jimmy Dore is probably the most watched show that's a news related show, and he's an independent. Well, his videos will get fewer and fewer views, and they don't tell you when a show is going live, even if you're a subscriber. He has people from all different points of view.
Well, and he's very left-leaning, but lately he's been on a tear with them. And I think that
Bill
could
Maher
be why,
too, right? I never thought I'd
Bill Maher.
respect Bill Maher.
Now they're attacking him, but his view count is down too when they put the what do you call that? His Springer moment, at the end of the show.
Yes,
that's being throttled way back because he's saying things that somebody doesn't like. Mm-hmm. That is stifling.
Yeah,
free
that
speech.
is definitely. Here's the other thing, and maybe this is old enough where it's not going to be controversial, but we talk about the whole Russian collusion thing. And the argument to people, and again, I'm not on social media, so it's very difficult to make that argument to me. I'm not on social media. But it would look at you and go, well, you're just listening to Russian disinformation. Okay, when was the last time that a Russian came up to you and said, comrade, please vote Biden or please vote Trump?
Recently.
And I not had that. I mean, I can honestly say no one's ever done it. And then if they did, here's my thought. I have no reason to listen to you. So why are we just now protecting people so hard that you can't even listen to disinformation and make it? It's like the news. I miss Walter Cronkite. I just want, that's the story. You make your decision. Is it good? Is it bad? Or is it somewhere in between? Yeah, Lester Holt comes out, wins an award, and says, you know what? Sometimes there's not two sides to a story. I'm like, you should not be in journalism. There's probably 3 or more sides to every story because you weren't there. We call that hearsay in the law. If Jonathan tells me something about Michael, I have to take that with a grain of salt, whether he's my best friend or not, because I'm going to need to ask Michael, did that happen? Well, kind of, but not really. Yeah. And that's the way that story is going to go.
I would tell you, because you're my lawyer and attorney-client privilege. This is what I'll say because we're running out of time again. Recently, there was a ruling in Texas that Rachel Maddow has now declared that's not news. That is entertainment and that is opinion. That case coming out, and that was by a Democratic judge, just so people know that we're not slanting one way or the other. Do you know where they got the basis of that? That Tucker Carlson is also not viewed as news. Anytime that but people are watching it, not as many as before, but they're watching it because they want to watch that person tell them the story that they want to hear. Yeah, right. So all those people who bought into Rachel Maddow talking about we've got Trump's tax returns and all this other stuff, and it always turns out to be Al Capone's vault, and it doesn't matter. what you're watching doesn't matter. It's things that have been sanitized that we can tell you without getting in trouble, so people will spend money.
And doesn't Tucker Carlson literally come out and say, I'm not a newscaster. I'm an
He
opinion
can say that
host or
now,
an
but he wasn't
entertainment."
before. And
Yeah.
again,
Yep.
all media is skewed one way or another, no matter what. There's always bias. People are taking and saying, that's the truth. And
Right.
they're looking at these phones and saying, that's the truth. That's your truth because you agree with it.
Right.
But if you censor one side and it's all just one way, then this is very much Western Canadian politics.
Far Western.
Far
Western
west.
Canadian politics.
Thank you to our sponsor, Vladimir Putin. That's Broad Street Radio for this week, and we'll see you next week.